Good morning, everybody. Perfect. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start the meeting by, I will share with you a little bit of the history of these meetings. And then we're going to go around and we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to share where we are located. We're going to share what we do for business. And then we're going to actually share what will be a really good fit for us. What will be the perfect lead for us? If you want someone to send you a potential business, what is exactly will be a good fit for you? And then I just post a quote there, and I would like actually at the end of when you introduce yourself, I would like you to share one thing that you have tried, one new thing that you have tried that you have never done before this year. Did you have tried something new? Actually, it goes with that quote that I put there that is say, take one thing you never done before. So what was the last thing that you did that you have never done before, perhaps this year, something new? Good morning, Gloria. And so the quote say, take one thing you never done before, growth and comfort do not coexist. So I post the quote there. So the last thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna share perhaps one thing that we have done maybe this year or in the past year that we have never done before. That we felt like by doing it, we grew. Okay, so I'm gonna start with myself. I wanna introduce myself. I wanna share where I am located, what kind of business I have, what will be a good lead for me. And then I will share one thing that I have done, one thing new that I have done, perhaps this year, perhaps in the last year, that I feel like I grew, that I learned and grow from it. Okay, my name is Maria Panan, and I am located in Denver, Colorado. Originally, I am from Bogota, Colombia, but I have been in Denver for 30 years. I oversee the certification program for diversity, equity, and inclusion for the DEI Leadership Institute. And a good lead for me is any professional who really want to learn about how to be effective on diversity, equity, and inclusion and want to get certified. So any person, any professional from any industry who really want to learn and apply DEI, perhaps in their business, perhaps in their company. So that's a good lead for me. Now, regarding the quote here, one thing that I have done, I will say, this year I've been doing something new. I have never been a chair in a board. So this is something new. I have been a chair of this very important, very meaningful a nonprofit. And I have been learning a lot about how nonprofits work because I have been in nonprofits from like a board member, but I have never been a chair. And I have been learning a lot about legal things and all the insurance that goes with nonprofits, especially when you have a bad hire. I've been learning, that's something new. So I've been learning a lot. That's something that's a new thing that I have done in this year. With that, I'm gonna pass it to Deborah. Deborah, we cannot hear you.
She says she has to log back in.
Okay, well, let's go. Alice, you wanna go?
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alice. I'm a native Italian from Venice, and I run an online Italian school based in Madrid, Spain. The name of my school is Lingua Lunga Italian, and Lingua Lunga means the chatterbox, and that's my goal with clients. A great lead for me is entrepreneurs who need Italian for their business, people who want to reconnect with their Italian roots or get Italian citizenship. I have lots of clients who bought a house in Italy and they would like to retire in Italy one day, or people traveling for tourism. And they would like to know the basics to get by in Italy and order their cappuccino as a native Italian. All in all, I help anybody to become fluent in Italian. And regarding the quote, I've launched my school pretty much a year ago. And for me, going online by myself, navigating as a solopreneur, this world was very challenging. I've learned a lot. And I think, as you said, Maria, that you can improve and become a better person if you are willing to go out of your comfort zone, because progress is outside your comfort zone. And it was for me. And if I look back, I'm not the same person as I was a year ago. And I've had my battles, made sacrifices, but I'm happy for how much I've grown. Thanks. I've grown.
Yes, thank you, Alice. Thank you so much. You wanna call someone?
Oh, okay. Let's go with Liz.
Hi, my name is Liz Santana, and I am based in the Chicago area. I work for a nonprofit credentialing board, primarily in the medical imaging space that's based out of Rockville, Maryland. I'm not sure what I want out of this group yet, so I don't know how to answer the lead's question. This is my first interaction with the Global Chamber. And something new I've done this year, I tried a new speaking format that was a talk show where I kind of played the talk show host. And instead of being a traditional panel, it was much more conversational with my fellow panelists and pulling in people from the audience with questions. So that was a little uncomfortable, but I think it went really well. And it's something that I'll try again in the future. And let's see, who do I want to call on? Gloria. Gloria, Gloria.
Why did I know you were going to say that? Maybe it's because I'm from Chicago and that's our connection. Oh, I miss Chicago. I miss the Magnificent Mile. I miss Mayor Maggie Daley's flowers. I miss all that. But anyway, I'm Gloria Peterson, and I am director of Global Protocol Academy. I have specialized in professional presence, business etiquette, and international protocol related topics for over 30 years. And so I know how to do that. And I've written 4 books on those subjects, so I know how to do that. But what I did differently a few years ago is I deviated from the professional development and went more in the personal development direction. And I think the inspiration for me to do that, to write my first journal, I wrote it for me, but then I decided to publish it, was twofold. Dealing with a lot of issues going on in the family, trying to help my mom and dad, who passed in the last couple of years, transition from the only home they know into assisted living and care. And, it's just a lot of stuff, and having family that bucked my decisions, if you know what I mean. I had to sit down and really think about how I work, how my own mindfulness. And I think Todd Cornell, who wrote a book on mindfulness, was probably a good influence for me, because he kind of woke me up to that. So I started investigating, what is this mindfulness movement anyway? What's it all about? I don't get it. I started watching videos and all that stuff. And when I started breaking it down, I thought, now, wait a minute. I in my mind, I thought, I think there's like 7 main categories to the whole mindfulness movement. I think it's definitely all about intention setting, and I didn't know how to do that. It's gratitude, making sure you're grateful every day for something in your life. I wasn't doing that. Affirmations, I've always thought of myself as I've learned to be strong, but I didn't realize some of the things within the world of affirmations that I had accomplished and other areas I needed to work on. Visualization, that's another one that I started listening to, and I thought, how do you do that? And kindness, I do know about that, but I think kindness comes in three areas. I think it's the kindness you extend, the kindness that you receive, and perhaps the kindness that you observe. Wisdom, spirituality, faith, I started getting curious about all these things. And to top that off, and I don't mean to take too long here, but I'd had a brain scan a couple years ago simply because I wanted a full head to toe. Because at my age, I won't say what it is, but I'm at that age where a lot of age-related things are starting to pop, and I'm having to deal with them. And I thought I was healthy, and now that stuff's you're all going to get there. And I found out I'd had a stroke, and I didn't know it. I have a stroke scar in my brain, and I have permanent memory loss. And in that area, and what I learned is there are sometimes when I look at albums and pictures, I don't remember the situation. I don't remember the scene at all. I don't remember being there. And now I know why. So knowing all that, I wrote a journal, and this is where I got outside of myself, Maria, and really had to get to know me better. And I'm always one that once I get to know me better, I want everybody else to get to know themselves better. So it's like a sharing thing. So I wrote 2 journals. The second one came out last year called Mindfulness. Again, the 7 components is what I talk about. And Health Watch. And I talk about when I had the stroke, I found out that if I had memory loss, I would walk minimum of 30 minutes a day or 6,000 steps. So I got my step watch to make sure at 4 o'clock, if I don't hit 6,000, I'm out there walking, trust me. And I make sure I get there to force the oxygen flow up to the brain so that I can start to be less absent-minded and dealing with some of the mental things I was dealing with. And it actually worked. It actually does work. So I decided to share it. And this past year, I not only did the English version, I did a Spanish version. And I did the Spanish version because I was a speaker at a transitional writers conference in Puerto Rico in December. Our reception was at their bookstore called Bookmark, and the owner didn't have anything like what I had written on his shelf. And I told him that he was missing something there. He says, well, if you're going to write another one, do a Spanish version, I'll carry it. So he is. So that's kind of my story. So I'll pass the baton, and I'll pass it on to, I hope I say your name correctly. If not, correct me, Amira? Is that correct? Amira? Okay. You have to go off mute.
Thank you, Gloria. Okay, Amira, are
Yes.
you ready to go, or shall we go with Deborah? Deborah is back. Let's go, Deborah.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Deb Young. I'm co-founder, managing partner of Share Velocity. We're an international executive search firm based in Denver, Colorado. Good leads for me. I'm kind of along the lines of who spoke? She was it Liz? About not real sure where leads would come from this group, but my clients are typically lower middle market, either private equity, founder-owned businesses, family-owned businesses, privately held, that are looking for senior leadership talent. I've been doing this for 27 years, and I've been doing personality profiling for 27 years as part of my search process. And a lot of things resonated me with what everyone said so far. Comfort. I read the book, The Comfort Crisis. You should read that. It talks about how we've all become in such a we don't get out of our comfort zone. And I'm the opposite. I get out of my comfort zone all the time, and sometimes it's a little difficult. But things that I've done this year to help with that. I started meditation a year ago, and I do it every day. I listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza about, it's about picturing yourself in the future of what you want to be doing. Like, I had this terrible fear of flying, and I had to make this trip, and I would visualize myself on the plane coming back from the trip that successfully. And I mean, that's sort of that visualization kind of thing that you were talking about, Gloria, and mindfulness. I'm a big proponent of mindfulness, and I've incorporated a lot of that into my search process. But just recently, 2 weeks ago, so I'm certified in the Hogan Assessment, which is the leading personality assessment for leadership talent. I've been doing that. I went back. I'm going to be 65. I went back and got my advanced certification just 2 weeks ago because I'm in this flux state. I'm a business owner. What do I do? How do I exit? What am I going to do? How can I stay in the game? All those kinds of things. And so I took that class, that certification, because it was about learning how to coach executives on an executive level versus in the search process. So I'm kind of going through a little transformation and learning new things in different ways. And I don't know, maybe I'll become an executive coach kind of part-time in retirement. Or I'll stay doing what I do because I love what I do. But it's it's kind of a scary point in life when you get to be this age, like, you know, when do you know when to stop? Do you stop? So you'll all get there too, like Gloria said. But that's where I'm at.
Thank you so much, Deborah.
Oh, one thing, Gloria, I dated a guy in college who was Mayor Daley's lawyer. His dad was Mayor Daley's lawyer. It's because I'm from that area too. You mentioned Mayor Daley.
Thank you, Deborah. Do you want to call someone?
Sure, Sarah.
Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Cornett. I'm an AI consultant. I just started my own business this past year. So I support clients who are interested in AI adoption. So I provide services from AI education, helping businesses understand capabilities of AI and how they can apply them to their own business, to AI strategies, so supporting groups in strategy workshops, so making sure they're able to successfully onboard these solutions and think about this in a strategic way. And then also AI implementation. I've implemented lots of different solutions in the past, from cloud computing, AWS, IBM Watson, to marketing CRM solutions. So that's my business. I didn't get all the prompts. I'm sorry. I came in a little bit late, but I think overall what I'm trying to get out of this in the support group is I feel very passionate in my knowledge in AI, and I'm very confident in my knowledge in AI, but it's the business side, being a business owner, that I'm still learning how to do and how to make the right connections and meet the right people and make those sorts of business deals happen. So that's something I'm continuously learning, and would love to get some support from this group, from these amazing ladies who have already accomplished a lot of those things without their careers. So I think those were the prompts. I'm not sure if I'm missing any other prompts or anything else I need to add.
Thank you, Sarah. No, you did very well. The only thing is, have you done something new that you have actually moved out of the comfort zone? I know AI is getting out of your comfort zone, so, but yeah.
Yeah, AI, I'm actually comfortable with AI. I'd say the thing I'm uncomfortable with that I did recently was start a podcast. I've been interviewed on podcasts before. So again, trying to grow my network and growing the kind of funnel to get people in to kind of get to know me and the work that I do. So I just recently started a podcast. So my first one was with my dad, who is a retired electrical manager of electric companies. So it was a little bit of the podcast is about industry innovation. So how different industries have approached innovation in the past and how they think about AI now and what that's going to look like in the future of their industry. So started my first one with my dad, and we'll record the second one this week. So that was a little scary, but I think we got through it.
That's really good. What will be a good lead for you?
a good lead for me. I'd say companies interested in AI adoption. So it's been like more mid-sized companies right now, who, more tech companies too, that may have done other technical things, but haven't done any AI. Maybe their staff isn't trained in AI, but they're interested in bringing on those solutions or growing their business into providing AI solutions. So I can definitely support those type of clients.
Great. Seems like somebody wanted to know what is the name of your podcast. So that is in the chat box. If you're gonna see it, you're gonna put it there for all of us. Sarah, you wanna call someone here in the meeting so they can introduce
Sure.
themselves?
Let's go, Larissa.
Hi, everybody. I see a couple of familiar faces, but for those of you that don't know me, I'm Larissa. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I work in international business development. I'm a fluent German speaker. My Spanish could use some work. It used to be pretty good, but right now I'm working on a project where a good lead would be for me if any of you guys know any contacts in the insurance or insurtech industries, or maybe work for private equity firms that invest in MGAs that are specifically in London. I would love to meet those contacts. I'm helping to plan an event to connect all of those industry players right now. Something new, I guess. Well, it's been 10 months, but I've been navigating the world of self-employment and being a business owner, and really going into it with almost no direction and sink or swim and finding my way out. So I'm really proud of the work that I've done, and I think it's a great lesson in knowing that you're never going to have all the answers, and you just have to keep going and figuring it out and talk to people who've done it. And so that's me.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You wanna call someone?
Yes. Is it Siobhan?
You got my name right. I love it. When you were calling somebody else and you were having trouble with the name, I was not you, Larissa, but
Yeah.
the past person. I was like, oh, she's talking about me, and then no, she wasn't. And then I said everybody's names, and there's a few names up there that are just as difficult as mine. So hello, everyone. I'm Siobhan Shaw. I'm the catalyst behind Growing to Give. We're a 501c3 based in the United States. Our focus is to develop or enhance community farms and gardens and small scale farms, so that they remain sustainable and that they use less resources, specifically water, fertilizer, labor, and we have grown exponentially, just like the systems that we use to grow a lot of food in a small space. So 2019, we got our registration, the whole world shut down a few months later, and we stayed where we were, and we ended up over 3 years growing 100,000 pounds of food for the community food banks. We had so much food coming off, and things that they weren't necessarily getting. That wasn't potatoes and onions and carrots and apples. We were growing yellow and green and purple beans. We were growing bell peppers. We were growing Roma tomatoes and different types of tomatoes, the things that the food banks actually don't get from farmers. And so we did that, and it was a big hit. And then we decided I was doing some networking, and we decided that the real need was in the areas where drought was a huge issue, because one of the sustainable systems that we have, agricultural systems that we have access to, is called the crop circle farm and garden system. And it uses 90% less water in ground. It can be in a pot, in ground. It can go anywhere. It can be adapted to rooftop or a farmer's field. And so we've found that we've got a tremendous amount of interest and collaboration from community organizations and governments and big NGOs around the world, and specifically in the Caribbean, Africa, and the United States, and the United States Southwest. anywhere that there's issues with drought. So, and running a nonprofit was very new to me. And even though that we've been around since 2019, I actually hadn't done any operational things at all. We just had we had no idea what was going to happen with the pandemic. And so when we kind of came out of the pandemic, it was like, oh, we better do something. So I went to LinkedIn and I found an amazing group of volunteers, professionals, marketers. I have a legal team. They're all Fortune 500 people and grant writers, and they're all volunteers. So we're an all volunteer team still. And our we have really amazing news, because we've been chosen among the top 48 for the world's largest environmental prize called the Food Planet Prize. And it's a $2 million winner take all prize that is will be announced in July. So fingers crossed, everybody, because that's a validation for what we're doing to be able to help the small scale farmers and the community gardens become more sustainable. But it's not all I do. So I have a background in film and television and podcasting, and I have done talk shows, and I've written books in the mindfulness area. I used to work for Bob Proctor. But I also have done health and wellness shows, and I've just actually been asked to take over the production and hosting of a show that's starting on Facebook. It's on the Feel Good, Share Good group, and it's called Real Talk. And Monday night was my first, regular gig to do that show. And so we get to talk about health and well-being, and I'm always looking for guests. So I've done talk shows before. I did the Attitude Shift show for 10 years. It was a show that a friend of mine and I did for a long time. Attitude shifting, that's what we did. But I see that, many of you have stories that, would be translatable to the health and wellness world. And so people would be interested in your story. We just did a whole story on somebody who takes pictures of hearts in nature. So, the sky's the limit. If we can figure out an angle to have you on the show, and Gloria, we'd love to talk to you about your stroke story. I think that's amazing. And Deborah, your whole comfort zone thing, the person that was just on with the heart, she said, I don't know if I have anything to talk about. She probably was one of the best guests on the show so far. So let me see. Oh, I'm the chair. So the person who's just taken on the chair role, I'm the chair of Growing to Give, but I'll probably give that up when we sort of really build our funding. But I'm also the co-chair of a Ugandan nonprofit that's helping children to grow food and teach them to grow their own food and teach their families. And then something new I've just started is learning Spanish. So buenos dias. Hola. Yo soy Siobhan. That's yay. And then I think the leads would be people that are interested in being guests on Real Talk, on the Feel Good, Share Good group on Facebook, people that are socially minded, community garden leaders maybe, people that would like to donate to Growing to Give. And then, of course, I'm an expert in sustainable agriculture because I actually know the crop circle and tomato volcano systems intimately. I've worked with them for years and years. And so I'm starting to go on that speaking circuit where I'm invited to those types of conversations where they're talking about sustainable agriculture, women in sustainable agriculture, or food security, those types of things. So I think that's it. And Chicago, something about Chicago, but
Thank you.
Something I'll remember.
Thank you so much. I believe we have Liz still. Yeah, Liz, you want to go?
Me?
Yes.
I already went.
Okay, let's see. I don't see here. Okay, I see
Maybe Daisy?
Yeah.
Daisy. Okay,
Hello.
here you go. Perfect.
Hi, how are you, everybody? This is my first time. I don't know how many of you have met before, but I'm new to Global Chamber. And I run a nonprofit in New York called Women's Islamic Initiative in Spirituality and Equality. And what brings me to Global Chamber is to meet, fellow women, fellow entrepreneurs, to see how we might be able to leverage off of one another. I had an architectural design background for 25 years, and then after 9/11, I quit my career to dedicate myself to community service because our nation was polarized after 9/11, and I'm by nature a uniter. I like to unite people, and I'm skilled at uniting people. I believe in diversity. I'm committed to inclusion, diversity. I'm a big tent person. Nothing gives me more joy than bringing happiness and people together and removing anger and removing hate and all that good stuff that women are really good at doing. And so I use my skills as a person with 360-degree view to build coalitions, to bring people together, to stop the madness. And specifically, my nonprofit is dedicated to women's rights, Muslim women's rights specifically. But of course, I'm a feminist by nature, so I get involved in other types of women's rights as well. I will be publishing a book very shortly called 30 Rights of Muslim Women, and it's coming out on May 21st. So I will be doing a tour around the country. So I've been making notes of all of you, and wherever you are in whichever state you are, I'd love to meet up with you when I'm there. And but more specifically, I will be starting a podcast to discuss these rights. And I would love to have different people as guests, especially spiritually inclined people and people who have some intersection with this work. You call it mindfulness, I call it contemplation. In my tradition, it's contemplation. It's more, going deep within yourself and trying to find that water well within you that mobilizes you to, endless degrees. So the book is coming out. There's going to be a tour, and I'd love to speak to the AI person, Sarah. I think that I have a bunch of things that I would like to talk to you about, but more specifically right now, because my work got started after 9/11, I have a lot of experience with fighting extremism from within and outside of our communities. And we can see that our nation is now completely polarized, divided, and the war in Gaza has created a whole new set of challenges for each and every one of us. So right now, my work has quadrupled. I'm doing trainings on Islamophobia around the nation to corporations, mostly large corporations, private schools, any kind of institution that wants to learn how to prevent this thing, Islamophobia, and of course anti-Semitism also, from taking root in communities. So I'm a faith-based spiritual activist. All of my work comes from my deep sense of my own spiritual values. And that's what ties me together with people of other traditions, because when you go so deep, there's no difference between any of us. We're all one anyway, right? And whether we're doing farming, whether we're doing whatever work we're doing, it's all coming from that same essence of righting the wrong, making things correct, creating prosperity. Whether you're in business and you're trying to create better business, it's all about, prosperity, peace, and staying with our core values. So my specific ask is, I have a lot of opportunities to work with fellow women, and nothing pleases me more than going to women, because we're great mobilizers. So whatever you think, if there's an ask for me, I'm ready to come and be there with you. So I'm just a fellow supporter and would love to, get your support in anything that I'm doing. So
Thank you, Daisy.
including helping with the podcast, which would be
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daisy. So one question that was in the quest from the beginning of the meeting is, have you done anything new try something new and getting out of your comfort zone in this year or the last year?
Yeah, well, I'm basically by nature a black sheep. That's all I've been ever doing all my life, is doing things that are different than what others are doing. So I tend to be at the forefront of pushing. So one of the things that I'm doing right now, which is, not so much, is not so popular, is trying to keep peace between Jews and Muslims in the United States. What seems to be a war between our two people actually does not have to be a war about two people. We could actually tip this whole thing around and cooperate with one another, right? And collaborate and cooperate to bring peace to the people of Palestine and to the people in Israel. So that is my comfort zone, but I do a lot of my work is behind the scenes, working with people. I don't do protests and agitations because that's public. That's not my field. That other people do it so much better. But I do behind the scenes coalition building. So right now, I'm working with the White House on an strategy on countering Islamophobia and strategy on countering anti-Semitism. So I know that this is hard work, but long term, this is the work that's going to sustain us. So yeah, you can count on me to be doing anything that's different than everybody else is doing.
Thank you, Daisy.
Thank you.
So much. Okay, so let's see. We have Rosalind. Rosalind, hi.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm coming late to the meeting. I'm sitting outside right now. It's a lovely day in Phoenix. And so I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was a librarian for 20 years and changed career when I was raising my baby, when I was a stay-at-home mom. And so my goal these days is to elevate. Right now, I'm a real estate broker. So I've been a real estate broker since 2010. So I've been about 14 years. And so my goal lately is to elevate women's status in real estate professional. And I do residential, commercial, and property management, especially in the commercial fields. There are very few women. And also in the leadership position in real estate industry, there are very few women too. So I will be, so something I did recently to get out of my comfort zone. I'm always the stay behind the scene kind of person, more like doing everything that's technical, logistics. But last year I ran for the president-elect position for my local network's Women's Council of Realtors. So next year I will be the president for my local network. And I'm looking forward to being more out front in the leaders, and instead of trying to do all the works, learning how to inspire people. And I think that will probably accomplish even more and inspire people through mentoring and education. I also just got my real estate instructor credential as well. So, and then by stepping away from the day-to-day work of being in the field, I see myself to be out there and mentoring and teaching new agents more and more. So that's, yeah.
Thank you, Rosalind. Thank you so much. And then I'm like, can you mute yourself? Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. Mira, seems like you won't be able to talk. I saw something in your chat box. Nice to see you. Thank you for putting your information there, and also for sharing with us that next time you will be able to share. But thank you for showing your face, because it's so good to see your faces. So, okay, so a couple things. I really want to go back and to reflect a little bit of what Deborah actually mentioned on this turning point in our lives, that she mentioned 65, perhaps, when we have sometimes to make decisions and reevaluate what is that we're going to do, what is the value that actually we bring in our professional world. I really appreciate that, Deborah, that you actually mentioned that, because I love when we own the stages of our lives where we are. Very interesting to hear more about your certification, and I have no doubt that you will do well, because you already have a really good ground of the work that you have done professionally. But going back to that and reflecting, is we find ourselves, it doesn't have to be 65. I hear that from a lot of people, you know, is we find ourselves sometimes in those turning points in our lives where we have to perhaps reinvent ourselves, perhaps rethink the direction that we're going, perhaps make decisions and let things go, perhaps letting everything go and start new. So that actually goes to what Gloria was saying about your own journey on learning more about yourself, so you can help people, and I think that's huge. And I will go back with Sarah, but before I go with Sarah, I want to share with you a book that I read that I found very good, very interesting. It's actually called It Didn't Start With You. And that book actually talk about the healing that needs to take place in our lives for us to really do the work that we need to do, because we sometimes carry a lot of pain from other generations that we don't even know, that we are not aware. So by recognizing where we are and heal, we can do better. So I very strongly recommend that book. It's called It Didn't Start With You. I will put it on the chat box. And then Sarah, as you know, we are all here entrepreneurs. And I would like to ask you if you could please share with us some of the ways that we can utilize AI in our small business or in the work that we do. If you don't mind.
Lots of different ways for sure. I don't, if you have never played with like ChatGPT, some of the other generative AI solutions, I very much encourage you to go and just play with those tools, see what you come up with. I personally use it for my marketing. I can plan out an entire month's worth of LinkedIn posts from AI. I have it create a strategy for me of like, these are the kinds of topics I want to do. This is I'm trying to build my network and trying to grow my audience, and it creates an entire strategy for me. And then I can go in and say, okay, for this post, help me kind of draft out what that post will look like. And it'll give you a full draft of your post. So it fully automates your entire marketing. It helps you at being very specific in the goals you're trying to accomplish, growing your audience, growing your business. It can very much, automate that whole process for you. So it takes a big weight off of me as an entrepreneur. I don't have to post every single day or think about, what am I going to talk about today in this post? I don't have to like kind of have those conversations with myself. It's fully automated. It's fully ready to go for that whole month. So it's really just at the end of the month, like I'm doing that this week. For next month, I'll plan out for the next month and just have it all fully automatically go for me. So that's a big one. If you guys have not taken advantage of that, I can drop some of the links to some of those solutions. They're pretty easy to use, I think. I can help you with some of the prompting if that's something you've never done before, getting the most out of those prompts. I've got some great ones I can share with you as well about your marketing strategies and things like that. But definitely, that's a great one. If you've never seen anything AI, you don't know really where to start, I encourage you to start with those like ChatGPT, Claude. Those are some good ones to start off with. Gemini as well, just to get in and play with those solutions. But it can automate so much. You can, sky's the limit of what you can accomplish with AI. I've played with some tools that can help you organizing your calendar. So like they use an idea called time boxing. So you can write in the list of tasks you need to accomplish for the week, and it'll go in and find within your schedule the right times to go and accomplish those things. So it can help you with assistance, an AI assistant helping you with emailing, responding to emails in a quicker way. So there are lots of different ways you can use AI solutions. It depends on what you're looking to do and what your goals are. But if you have a problem you're running into, something you want to get more efficient with or more organized with, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help you with that. On my website, I've got lists of, no matter what your industry is, I've got lists of AI use cases you can explore. So if you're in, healthcare, banking, manufacturing, no matter what industry you're in, I've got some great AI use cases out there for you that you can go and take a look at and understand kind of the different ways you can use AI solutions. But yeah, definitely happy to help you guys out in any way there with all things AI. I love to talk about this stuff.
That is so good. Thank you, Sarah. Does anybody here is using AI right now?
I
Deborah?
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you using it, Deborah?
So I use a tool to, when I have business development calls, that records the call, summarizes it, and you can click on where every question was asked between the people, and goes straight to the transcript. And it gives you an overview of the conversation. So I use that one for like when I'm working with potential people to work with or clients or conversations. And then I have another AI tool, a separate one that I use on my candidate interviews. And I can drill down and to create my presentations for my client. It helps me I don't have to sit and be taking a million notes. I can actually listen to the person and go into that AI tool afterward and pull out the information that I need that was talked about to make a presentation for my client. It's a very nice tool.
So that means that the AI records the whole meeting?
It's a transcript. There's an AI assistant, there's highlights. You can ask the assistant anything like, what were the revenues of XYZ company that so-and-so was at? And it'll spit it out for you instead of having to go through your handwritten notes and see if you wrote it down or if you missed it. And for me, I am more engaged with my candidate and I can really listen much better than I ever have before. So.
Wow, thank you for sharing. Liz, how do you use it?
So we're using it to help create content for assessments, low stakes assessments. We're using it, we're doing a data imputation project using AI. It's not a large language model, but it helps fill in some of the missing data in our data bank. And I'm using it for content generation and editing on a number of things, from blogs to emails. Used it for suggestions to policy edits for the Certified Association Executive Commission. So I use it for different things in both volunteer, professional, and impersonal.
Wow, that's really good. Gloria, how are you using?
Yeah, I have a question actually for Sarah. Are you aware of, or is anyone here aware of, that the Global Chamber does a Global Chamber AI series once a month? Have you been on that with Jacob Dietz? I think that's his
Yes,
name.
I was just on the one. Do we have one this week or the week before? I think I've definitely attend those as often as I can. And we just did a presentation on international businesses.
Mhm.
So it was a panel of 4 of us that spoke in front of that panel about how you can use AI within your international business. So I think that's recorded. If you guys go check that out, that's a really good one.
Yeah, I'm thinking though, if you contact Jacob, because I think he's the lead person on it, to do a special one with you as the facilitator, as the main
That's a great
facilitator,
one.
sharing exactly what you just shared. And certainly I will support that. So far I'm a novice at AI, but I do use the Chat GPT. I love it because you can brainstorm with it. I mean, I'll send it a paragraph of something I'm trying to post, and then they'll send it back to me. And I thought, well, it's sort of, let's try again. And I'll go, let's try again. Then I find that I have to be more specific in what I'm asking them when I'm trying to create something. And actually allows you to that back and forthness. It's really cool. That I always remember to say thank you at the end. Even though it's a virtual whatever.
Yeah, then I've definitely talked to Jacob about figuring out a good time to bring you in. That's a really great topic. I think the entrepreneurs specifically, if we have a session on that and give some, I could showcase some different tools for you guys to take advantage of and use. I could demo a few products. So I'll ask Jacob about that one.
Yeah, I'll push your name to Doug and to Jacob as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sarah, where are you located? I forgot where you're located.
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
Oh, Sarah, I'm thinking of moving to North Carolina in the fall.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, to the Research Triangle area, maybe Durham or there's another one there. I can't remember. Cary.
Yeah, we'll catch up offline and
I'm going to check it out this fall. It's a possibility.
I see Dana. Hello, Dana. Haven't seen you for a while. Nice to see your face.
It is great to be here, even on the tail end, because you're always doing great things. And I did hear the piece about AI and how it's utilized for content. And Gloria mentioning that Jacob does a series on AI, which he did last week. And there was a few actually last week for Global Chamber. And I've been doing snippets of videos, really speaking to my writers aspiring to be authors, cautioning them on how they use AI for writing a book. It's really great for content, thought provocation.
Yes.
But not to duplicate exactly how it was written, because then we get into plagiarism. So we want to be safe, but use it as a spark for interest or even to explore more research. I miss you guys here, Maria. I miss this group and hoping to be back on more often.
Yeah. If you don't mind, can you introduce yourself so everybody meet you? Could tell where you are located, what you do, and one thing that you have done. Actually, we don't have time, but just go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us what you do.
Okay, so I'm the executive director for Global Chamber Atlanta. It's beautiful today, if you can see behind me. Also, I just recently got the baton in January from Gloria Peterson, heading up the Global Chamber Author Series. Phenomenal, just it's incredible. If you haven't joined on, log on next month for the Author Series. We have special speakers next month. We do workshops every other month. And then I coach writers. One of the things I do is I coach writers to become authors in 90 days. And we have our next 90 days to manuscript coming up in the first week in August, and we finished it end of October. I'm a healthcare professional by profession, so I really like anything to do with writing for health, writing for books, and just for relaxation at times. I'm a connector, and I will connect with Amira. I see that.
Thank you so much, Dana. It's really nice to see you.
Same here. I miss you. And I'll be doing global dining tomorrow night on tea.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for, check it out. Those are the wonderful, those global dinings. I see Rachel's picture here, but I would love to see your face. I know we almost, hey, Rachel, how are you?
Don't look the best today, but yeah. I've been listening to everything. Love AI, use it at work too, and love to hear how everyone is using it.
Okay, do you want to share with us where are you located and what kind of business you do?
So I'm like Dana. I'm in Atlanta. Beautiful day today. I'm Weinstock. I'm the director of Weinstock Immigration Lawyers, director of marketing, and also operations manager.
Perfect. So we have a couple minutes. Share with us something new that you have tried to, or you have done in the last year or this year.
So I love GPT, ChatGPT. I actually upgraded to the 4th version now. And I use it mainly to create content, as someone else said. I don't remember exactly who it was. I redact a paragraph and use it like, okay, make this, and you, again, as I said, you have to say like very specific commands. Make this for Facebook to create this and this and this, and it gives it a twist. It's not always right, but with that twist, you get ideas to convert it.
Okay, thank you so much, Rachel. As I just actually talked to someone that is using AI for creating pictures.
Oh,
And-
yeah. Also
and
tried it.
It's just amazing. All I mean, they look real, but they're created by AI. I don't know if you guys have ever used it, but I have never used it. That somebody else was telling me what they do. But at the same time, you have to be very specific what you want to see in that picture. Otherwise, you ended up with a weird picture. So like content.
I've seen that done as well, Maria. And hi, Raquel, good to see you. With the pictures, like you said, you have to be very specific. Like if you want a 5-year-old African-American girl with curly brown hair, green eyes, you have to be very, very specific. And once you have that created, there's another app that you actually drag it over to animate it. So there's so much. I'll look it up and try to send that to you, Maria, in the coming week.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I know Daisy just raised your hand. We have a couple minutes, so you're gonna go ahead and go.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention how I was using AI. I do a lot of writing and stuff, but I'm a writer, so I don't really need it for writing, but it does come up with fantastic captions and titles that, because it's so smart, I can put in a title and say, I'm looking for a similar title, and be like 10 different titles to choose from. So that's really one great thing. It's basically a very good tool for marketing. And also I've been able to use it for, because I'm doing a podcast and also like a treatment for a film, and I have no idea how to do the treatment. So when I said, give me an outline for the treatment, and then the entire outline comes down, and then I just put in my own narrative. And it's almost like having your own editor is what it is. Editor and somebody who has more expertise than you in a subject that you have no expertise in, but you're smart enough to figure it out yourself. That's what I like about it. It's like a great guide. It's like a mentor, and takes away. And you can do it very quickly yourself. You don't have to go out there and hire a person and then interview them. It's just like really quick. And eventually, of course, you need the experts to come in, but as a starter, you have something to start with. So that's how I use it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daisy. I know, Deborah, you have your hand on. We have 1 minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a question for Sarah real quick. What are the statistics on the reliability of the information that you get when you go on to ChatGPT? Because I've found some inconsistencies, and how do I flush that out?
Yeah, great question. That is those are called hallucinations, is what they're called in the AI field, is those answers that are not correct. And it is right. I think a lot of people are using ChatGPT as like a Google, but do have to fact check all of that. It's only using the information that was fed into the models. When you think of AI models, it's only as good as the data that's being fed into it. So in models, across the board, if there's some biased information, incorrect information, like you're going to get a biased and incorrect result. So be very careful of taking everything with a grain of salt. I was about to comment in our chat, like disclaimer, making sure you're using your AI solutions ethically, because there's a lot to that of the data and the information that's being fed into these models.
Thank you so much. Well, the time is up. Thank you so much for showing up, for investing in your social capital. This is a great time for us to learn, to connect, and to be better. So I hope to see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Maria. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.